Now for our story. Jessie Calvert stood in the hallway, staring resentfully at the closed door of her husband's study, from which she could hear the murmur of low voices. This symbolized her position in this family, Jessie thought. This closed door, this exclusion. She was an outsider, not to be included in important family discussions, not to be considered or consulted. Ben Calvert and his daughter Kit on one side, secure in their arrogance and their wealth, and Jessie, alone, on the other. Well, Jessie thought, we'll see. We'll see who wins out in the end. There are a few things I know which won't help Kit's cause at all. And when the time comes, they may come in very handy. Maybe Kit will find out she can't always just get what she wants. Comforted somewhat by these thoughts, Jessie went on up the stairs. On the other side of the door, in the study, Ben Calvert stood in front of the fireplace, looking into the flames, while Kit roamed nervously about the room. They were waiting for Bill Meade, Kit's husband, who was to bring his answer today to Ben's proposition. Would Bill give up custody of the baby in exchange for a quiet divorce, uncontested by Kit?
Oh, why doesn't he come? He's 15 minutes late.
Get hold of yourself, Kit. He'll come. Don't be so impatient.
Oh, it's easy for you to be patient, Dad. You're not the one who's had to take the brunt of this mess. Had to...
Maybe you think I'm enjoying this. Having to lower myself to that idiot's level. Offer him his choice, if you please, when I'd like to give him a good beating. That's what he needs. Put some sense in him.
Now, wait, Dad. Maybe you'd better get hold of yourself. Now, please don't fly into one of your rages when Bill comes and antagonize him.
Antagonize him? That's good.
Now, Dad, it won't do any good to get angry. You know how Bill reacts when you get on your high horse. It just makes him all the more stubborn. Remember, Bill has the upper hand right now.
Bill has the upper hand? How can you say that?
Well, don't forget that it'll be very much to our advantage to keep this case out of court.
It will save us embarrassment, yes. We won't have to be exposed to public criticism.
No, Dad. It's much more serious than that. Things might come up. Bits of evidence that...
Evidence? What kind of evidence?
Well, I don't know. A lawyer might dig up all sorts of things.
There's nothing to dig up. Or is there? Have you done anything that I don't know about?
No, of course not, Dad. How could I have done anything that you don't know about?
Well, no man knows everything his daughter does. For instance, all that time you were out in California.
California? Well, what makes you say that? Has Jessie been... I mean...
Jessie? What about Jessie?
Well, she's... Oh, you know how she is. So suspicious of everything. I just thought perhaps she'd said something.
Jessie said lots of things. She's always talking. Making vague hints, but I never pay any attention to them.
Yes, I know. Of course, she doesn't know anything really, but... Oh, I guess I'm just getting jumpy.
I'm worried about you, Kit. You've been so strange lately. You seem to have lost your grip somehow.
Well, if I have, it isn't all I've lost. So far as I can see, I've lost just about everything.
Oh, nonsense. Buck up, Kit. We've nothing to worry about.
I only wish you were right.
I am, you'll see. Why, Bill wouldn't stand a ghost of a chance if he refused to play ball with us, tried to take the case into court. No sensible judge in the world would award him the custody of a baby that age.
What makes you so sure?
What stands to reason? In a way, I'd like to see him try and take it into court. And serve him right. If you hadn't been so determined about not wanting the thing to go through the courts, I'd have enjoyed it. We would have given him a beating he'd never forget.
Well, Dad, aren't you rather jumping the gun? He hasn't given us his answer yet.
Well, I know what it's going to be. You mark my word.
Oh, dear, there he is. Now, Dad, promise you won't get excited or say anything rash.
Don't worry about me. You just see to it that you don't forget who you are. You're a Calvert. Now, get a good grip on yourself. Everything's going to be all right.
I'll let him in. Hello, Bill.
Hello, Kit.
Come in.
Thanks. Sorry I'm a little late. Got tied up at the bank at the last minute.
Oh, that's all right, Bill. We're here in the study.
Hello, Mr. Calvert.
Sit down, Bill.
Over here, Bill. You always liked this chair.
Thanks.
Have a drink? Bourbon? Sherry?
Yes, Bill. I'm going to have one.
No, thanks.
All right. Bourbon, please, Dad.
you are, Kit.
Thanks, Dad.
Well, Bill, we might as well get right down to cases.
Might as well.
I imagine you've given my suggestion some thought. Decided what you're going to do.
Yes, I have, Mr. Calvert.
Kit will get her divorce somewhere out of town. All you have to do is agree not to make any fuss about the baby. Leave him entirely in our custody. That's fair enough, isn't it?
Well, Mr. Calvert, I'm afraid you've made the wrong assumption.
How so? It's perfectly obvious.
Not to me. No, you're all wrong. Both of you.
Wrong.
Yeah, very wrong. My answer to your proposition is no.
You mean to say you're fool enough to think you can fight a case like that out in court and win?
Well, I don't know about that. But I do know that I intend to do everything I can to get custody of my son.
You're a fool.
That's just one man's opinion. All I know is that I want that child, and I'm prepared to fight for him.
You're crazy.
Maybe I am.
Bill,
But
Bill, are you sure this is what you want to do? Have you thought it over from every angle?
I think I have, Kit.
Do you realize what you're up against, Bill?
I think I do.
But why? Why attempt something you're almost certain to lose?
Because it's something I have to do. That baby's my son.
He's mine, too, Bill.
Yeah, I know that. But you told me yourself you wished you'd never had him. Now, what sort of a father would I be after that if I didn't want him? Didn't want to give him the break he ought to have?
Oh, Bill, that's not fair. You're surely not going to capitalize on something I said in a moment of anger.
But I think you meant it. I think it was an honest impulse for you, a statement of your real feelings. That's why
I've had enough of this nonsense. What's the matter with you, Kit? Standing around trying to argue the thing out on a rational basis, lowering yourself to practically plead with this lunatic.
But, Dad...
Let him go ahead. See how far it gets him. He can't win, I tell you. You're just wasting your time and mine, too.
Oh, Dad, stop shouting.
I'm not shouting. I'm just sick and tired of seeing you make a fool of yourself. You don't have to ask for favors. If Bill wants to fight this thing out, all the better.
It's not that I want to fight. I've said from the beginning I'd much rather have Kit get the divorce in a decent, quiet way. I don't want a lot of trouble any more than you do.
Well, if that's the case, you're certainly going about it in the wrong way.
You think I'm going about it in the wrong way just because I don't want to give in to you. You came around with this fine proposition. I have my choice of my freedom or my child. Well, I don't consider that a reasonable offer. I want my freedom and my child.
Sure. The moon on the silver platter, too. That's the trouble with you. You don't know when you're well off. And even supposing you won, which isn't possible, how would you propose to take care of a child that age? It's the most ridiculous idea I ever heard of.
Now, don't worry about that. Frankly, I think I'd do a better job than you would.
Oh, you do?
Yes. That's one of the reasons I'm so determined to have custody of him. I hate to think of what would happen to him if he stayed here.
All right, Bill. You've been given your choice. And you've given your answer. Now I'm going to tell you something. You take this thing into court, that's fine. We'll fight you every inch of the way.
No, Dad.
And if you think Kit's going to give you a divorce now after this, you're crazy.
Well, Mr. Calvert, that's just about what I expected from you and Kit. I'm not surprised.
I warn you. You're going to be in for a very few nasty surprises before we're through with you.
I expected that, too.
Bill...
No, Kit. He's had his chance. Let it go.
Okay, Mr. Calvert. I guess we've taken care of everything pretty thoroughly, so I'll leave now. Now that we all know where we stand. Kit, I'd like to see the baby.
Not on your life. Not now or any other time. No, Bill. You've cooked your goose this time. As for my grandson, you'll be lucky if you ever see him again.
Well, there was nothing Bill Meade could do. Not then. So he left. But in Kit's mind, the same weary question was repeating itself. Should she tell her father the truth? Tell Ben that the baby for whose custody he was prepared to fight was in reality not hers at all? She didn't dare. If Ben found out the truth, that the baby he believed to be his grandson was actually Lisa Fenner's child, then Kit would have no one to turn to. No one at all. Yes, Kit. Things are beginning to close in on you now.